Look.
The man who lived in this home received his PhD from Cairo University. He and his wife were killed. The miracle is that only 14 people were killed, and the reason so few is they had fled because of the bombing. These are middle-class, upper-middle-class people, and they had cars, and they left. As you see, this person with the Volkswagen Bug didn't leave and probably didn't live. We're going there to determine the extent of civilian casualties and damage to civilian life caused by U.S. bombing. I think as an American, I have to be concerned about life and have to be concerned about the conduct of our government.
ننزل عندك؟ بغداد.
I think it's unusual that in the middle of a war, they're letting us drive through the country completely unescorted like this.
Apparently they had planned to meet us and it just didn't work out. It began to get dark. Everybody was rushing to get off the road before the nighttime bombing began. We drove with our lights out until our car crashed into a big sand pile put there to prevent it hitting the crater. Somebody had their sand pile in the middle of the street.
The car okay?
Yeah, the car just got a little sand on the front.
How in the world do we get around here now?
I think we should go from here and we drive very slowly.
Yeah.
Because this exit, I don't know where the heck you're going to take us.
But the road's closed now, it looks like, huh?
Yeah, it looks like probably there's something damaged here, but you got to be very careful.
Uh-huh.
Got to be cool.
What's this up here?
Well, we're going to see when we get up there. It just looks like some dirt fill across. I think we can cross it on the right. But maybe not. They want me to get out and see.
I don't know, probably if you get in, probably. Or get out from it.
Big holes.
Holy cow. What is this?
Looks like grain. In this 10-mile stretch, we saw about a dozen vehicles, all civilian, that had been apparently hit by planes. We became a collateral victim ourselves when the car ran over some shrapnel. Since everything on the road could be a target, we were anxious to get to Baghdad.
If you get to Baghdad, 12 o'clock, you are very lucky.
We're not making such good progress anymore.
It took about 14 hours before we entered the Iraqi capital. We had no phones there, no water, no electricity.
Well, welcome to Baghdad, Ramsey.
Thank you.
The next morning, we were taken out to what was left of a baby milk factory. It had been hit twice in the early days of the war. We were anxious to figure out why a facility like that was bombed.
The United States government says that in this factory here you were making chemical weapons. Is that true?
No, that's not true. They are lie because this is milk for children. It's powder, milk of children.
Nothing else was made, only this in the factory?
Yes, and you can see in yourself.
What's that?
That's
milk.
Alvin sweetened
Okay.
milk powder. 30 grams.
The United States government said this has some type of barbed wire defense around it, that the factory here is painted with a camouflage here. And so maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they thought this was a military installation.
Believe me, this is not right, because as you know, this is the fence is a very common and normal fence, even for the houses. You see, there is not very something special to say that there is.
But what about the paint? I mean, you could look at this and think that maybe it was military.
No. Believe me, this is a baby milk plant.
After visiting that plant, what do you think? Milk plant or arms plant or chemical weapons plant? What do you think it is?
Well, it's clearly not an arms plant.
Yeah.
And it's almost surely built as a milk plant and almost surely operated as one. But it's sitting, right there in plain view. I mean, look at it's hardly a secret facility. To keep other buildings from being bombed, the Iraqis would burn tires to create the appearance the place had already been hit. Obvious military targets were emptied out. Look at that pretty minaret right in here, something. Right in there, that's beautiful. In every city we visited, telephone and telegraph exchanges had been destroyed, often with great damage to the surrounding neighborhood. This area of shops and residences right next to the Justice Ministry was badly bombed.
What did you sell in this store here? What type of food?
Fishing. Fish.
You sold fish?
Yes. Sold to the man.
Was it your store?
My brother. Yes. We sold fish here. Bring from the river. Then we sold to the to the men's.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
What are you going to do now?
Well,
There was no electricity anywhere in Iraq. Only the simplest forms of commerce survived.
How much for a Wrangler jacket? How much? 7 dinner.
No.
About $4 or $5.
Yes.
Anybody buying in these days? Let me see. Oh, you're making money?
ميت هذا قول له ميت.
You're making meat. Listen, how's business in these days? It's okay. When you look around the streets here, I mean, this was a really beautiful town, but now it's all shut down. How do you feel about Baghdad
I feel
now?
very bad, really. People, they are closing because they're scared from bombing and they're scared from hitting. This is why everybody remain home.
Staying at home wasn't safe either. This neighborhood in Baghdad took several direct bomb hits.
Look.
Your family was hurt? Your father was hurt?
Yes.
Tell me, what happened to your father?
His leg broken and his hand and all face. No
up?
face. No.
His face got burned
His lips and nose, everything. His eyes.
From the fire?
From the fire and the...
Found the woman's father in the hospital. His face had been virtually burned off.
He's very badly injured.
And how about these people?
This one, this family had lost her 3 sons and her husband.
Does she know?
And his nephew, yes.
Does she know that they died?
No, she didn't know. We didn't tell her till now.
Doctor, are these the bodies of that family? The 2 women that are lying there? This is what's left of her family, that's it?
Yes. There were others visiting them, I think, from the names we take, and they also get the same injury.
What do you say?
He's coming for his daughter.
Uh-huh. And what happened to your daughter? You came to the hospital. What happened to her?
ايش بيها بنتك؟
اسمها إصابة.
He said she's get hit and she died.
She died?
Yeah.
How old was she?
احترقت هي حريق.
قد عمرها عمي؟
61 ماتت.
قد عمرها 61
إيه،
20 years old.
The doctors have reached the point of despair, an endless stream of victims. There's no electricity, there's no heat, there's not even water to wash your hands before you move from one victim's wounds to the next.
الله ينزل عجل الله كل مسلم مع النبي
The commercial district of Negev showed the effect of no electric power. The residential neighborhood showed the effect of more than a dozen direct bomb hits.
And what happened in this house here? What happened?
One rocket.
A rocket?
One
hit
rocket,
this?
yeah.
Is
Yes.
this where the people died?
Yes, 14 people.
14
Babies and women and men.
Yeah. What do you think of this war?
Stupid war.
Is it really?
Yes, stupid war. Yes.
What town is our destination today?
Ultimately Basra.
Uh-huh. Ramsey, what are we hoping to see?
What's there?
Uh-huh.
We're hoping we'll see a land of milk and honey, but we'll see what's there.
Uh-huh.
This is a post office and this is a hotel.
مو فندق واحد طبعا 3 فنادق هاي.
Three hotels.
What's that noise, Ramsey?
It's a plane at some height, it sounds like.
The 3 small hotels. Bed.
كلها
You can see the
تربايات
bed.
هنا صار.
Bed has been overthrown. You can see it from there. 10 people died.
Is this the only post office in the city?
البريد الوحيد بالولاية.
اي بس هو ما
This is the only one.
Could you please point to where the bomb hit? Where did the bomb hit?
Here.
Right there?
And in that place. And back to you back. Killed 7 persons.
7 people.
Seven people killed.
You know the people?
Yes, my neighbor. And جرحى شو نقول جرحى injured 18 people. أي my neighbor, all of them my neighbor. Most of them children and women. Even my family, children and women be very afraid. To this time, all of them they said, "Oh, airplane." We are very afraid.
Are there any military vehicles, tanks, or anything like that? Any soldiers here?
No military here. You saw, no military. Only families. No police station even. Only families. Oh, you saw.
Well, we're very sorry.
My friend. Thank you.
And what about the precision bombing that we're hearing about?
Well, here's some evidence that you don't want that kind of surgery committed around where you live. As we drove south, the level of destruction steadily increased. Many of the bridges were damaged or destroyed. The highway was under heavy attack.
They say there is accidents.
Accidents like bombing and that type of stuff?
Maybe, yes.
Outside of Basra, there was a numbing procession of soldiers and civilians, coffins coming from the city and from the front, and miles of soldiers and tanks dug into the sand. Basra had been heavily bombed. Many of the factories and gas stations had been destroyed, half a dozen residential areas badly damaged. Even the Sheraton Hotel had been hit.
You got sandbags all around the hotel?
Yeah, but here we do mistake. There is no enough sand.
I'm coming. Who pays you guys? Is Sheraton still paying you?
Yeah, Sheraton, yeah.
But how many customers do you have? Do you ever have any guests?
No, guest about 20.
20 when? Since the war started?
Yeah.
About 8:30, as we were eating dinner, 2 large bombs hit a residential area just down the street. We went there immediately.
What is this blown in the air?
It's dust and smoke and gunpowder. That is heavy too. That weighs 5 pounds probably.
What is it?
It's a fragment, a big piece of shrapnel, you could call it, from that bomb. The next morning, we returned to the site.
Well, boy, they really nailed this neighborhood.
Most probably he was trying to hit this bridge.
Oh, you think he was trying to hit the bridge over here? But if they were trying to hit the bridge, they missed.
They missed it the second time.
Oh, yeah?
The bombs just missed the teaching hospital. The people said they wanted to blow the bridge up themselves to stop the attacks.
What do you think, you? What's your idea?
I think you're pretty angry. Yeah?
Angry
or hungry?
All angry.
Uh-huh.
This letter from the owner of the house to tell his brother, please come and meet me in certain place because our house been destroyed.
Yeah. The house is really wrecked, isn't it? Yeah. How many people died in here, Katuri?
كم واحد ميت هنا؟ كم واحد مات هنا؟ 28. 28 people die here.
28 people died here?
Yes.
School book. The school books?
Yeah, that's right. See, handwriting, you know, everything. Poor people. Furniture.
Your town, Basra, is not doing too well, is it?
No, it's not really. It's hit very badly. Now, 2 wars been hit very badly, with Iranian war and with the Ally war. You know, it's really, this city suffer a lot. And I feel sorry for my hometown.
There's absolutely no basis in law for bombing the city of Basra, the residential areas here, for trying to destroy their water supply, their electricity, their telephone system, their means of communication and transportation. The people are getting sick from the water. The kids are out of school. The hospitals are full of injured people. And the cemeteries are filling up with dead people. The Central Market in Basra had been hit. It has 1,000 vendors. Most of them had left.
What's this?
That's Iraqi date. That's French date. Yeah, that's right. قول له احكي له بالعربي قول له شنو هذا قول له.
هذا تمر عراقي. تمر عراقي نوديه للخارج.
This is the biggest seller in the market now, the candles, because there's no electricity?
No light big. Yeah.
He's buying a lot, huh?
Yeah, all people take. Yeah, all people is, take the light.
From you?
Yeah.
What's this, Ramsey?
This looks like a crater from one of the famous Tomahawk cruise missiles that are so notoriously surgically accurate. Probably hit the checkout counter at a supermarket, as they call it, a bunch of shops here. This is the large farm market for the city of Basra. 8 people were killed, 40 injured. The miracle is that there weren't many, many more. It happened at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can see from the size of the crater that the concussion through the area must have been enormous.
What was this, Kaduri?
The Pepsi company, that's the biggest company really in Basra.
The Pepsi factory?
Yeah, that's right. I was kid, I used to come in here and buy the Pepsi myself with a bottle, old-fashioned bottle. Yeah.
Ramsey, when I went inside there, I didn't see any Pepsi bottles at all. So I'm wondering if the United States is going to say that there's something about the technology of bottling plants, like milk bottling plants, soda bottling plants, that lends itself to chemical warfare or something like that. Do you think that that might be possible?
Anything's possible as far as what they'll say. We know that. They don't know as much as they claim to know, and they don't tell us what they really know, and they lie. So you can't depend on that. What you know is that Katuri, who is with us, who's a man you've known for a long time, a U.S. citizen, bought Pepsis from that very plant when he was a kid. It's been there since the late 50s. It's a Pepsi plant. But you're right here behind it in this residential street, and look what you've done.
This is my house. This is my brother's house.
Uh-oh, another air raid starting. Can you hear the siren?
Yes, I hear.
Was anyone hurt in your family?
No. Just wounded. 2 baby.
2 baby. Your babies
Yes,
were wounded?
This my neighbor is die too.
On the other side of town, we saw yet another neighborhood and a mosque that had been destroyed. Was he in the mosque at the time?
انت كنت بالجامع وقت القصف يوم؟
انا لا مو بالجامع، انا بالواجب.
He in all his family in the mosque. He's a soldier. He was to be in the.
شوف الصور استاذ، شوف الصور ذول الابرياء، شوفهم.
هاي
الاطفال.
شوف بالكاميرا، شوف الكاميرا بصورهم.
شوف هذول الابرياء، هذول الاطفال. شوفهم مو ورود، هذول مو ورود.
بس اي والله خطير.
هاي ما ابي اصور استاذ.
This is his children.
Are these his children or are these his?
This is children. His own children.
Is this his wife?
هاي زوجتي هاي.
Yeah, his wife. That's right. And the kid is the last kid.
And did they all die?
كلهم توفوا شهدوا مو؟
كلهم شهداء.
All of them.
وعمتي ونسيباتي قد نسيبي لو مالتهم الجنازة.
His aunt and his wife, aunt and all and the rest of them, you know, they died too.
His whole family.
His whole family, nothing left. 13 people, the only one who remained.
But 2 bodies they haven't found.
Yeah, 2 bodies they don't find.
But he believes they must have been here.
Yeah.
There's still another part of town, the high school had been hit. We saw many other schools that had been damaged.
We've seen about 10 neighborhoods now that have been destroyed. How many total killed, do you think?
What I have here adds up to close to 250 killed. But that's a small part. I mean, this is one morning and we've just been driving around. You can only see so much, and I have to think that there have been many, many more than that in Basra alone killed by the bombing, and a fairly substantial multiple seriously injured. Housing for these people itself is a problem. several hundred people without homes because of this one bombing right here.
How many of the shepherds got killed in the attack?
15 of them.
15 shepherds got killed? What caused this injury?
Yes, shell injuries.
It's what, shrapnel from the shells?
Yes.
Do you think you're going to be able to take care of everybody who gets hurt?
Well, we wish so.
But realistically, you have
I
no
don't think
electricity?
it would be difficult. I think it would be difficult, yes.
You don't have enough medicine?
No. Not enough medicine.
What do you doctors think? Year after year, war and more war?
Well, that is our fate.
Okay. Goodbye. Our exit from Iraq was not easy. The highway was being bombed, and we were diverted some 80 miles through the countryside. How far out of the way is it?
40 kilometers.
40. 40.
Yeah.
40 miles up.
Kilometer, then
40 miles back. Well,
A little bit of a detour.
I always wanted to see the Euphrates Valley up here. When we finally got back to the highway on the last leg of our 2,000-mile journey through Iraq, we saw the latest victims of the air war. The Red Crescent, affiliated with the International Committee for the Red Cross, estimated as of February 6th that there were 15,000 civilians dead from the war. Well, as you leave and see, even today, bombing on this road, it reminds you of the horror of people's lives whose families have been destroyed, whose houses have been destroyed, and you realize that the United States is raining death and destruction on the whole country, from the northern tip to the southern tip, from the east to the west to the Jordanian border. There's no place to hide.